I'm attempting to cook some collard greens. First time ever cooking collard greens, so we'll see how this goes. Starting by cooking the smoked turkey neck, so I'm gonna let this cook for about 30 minutes. So while that meat is still going, I'm gonna cut these, and I can see that the color has already started to darken a whole bunch. I don't know if that means it's not safe to eat. I'm gonna cut this up, and then let's Google what happens if you, how do you know collard greens are no longer good to eat? And then I'll be back. So what I found online, it said that they'll become wilted, they'll start smelling, and they'll become slimy. These do not smell. They smell like regular collard greens, and they are not slimy at all. And although the color has changed, on the pictures I saw online, the color was more of a brown, not just this dark green. So I'm gonna go forward and cook these and say an extra grace. So let's cut these up. And I know some people may be saying, she didn't cut the stems off, and that's intentional. Or I didn't pull the leaves from the stems. That's intentional because I watched a few videos where they talked about the nutrients in the stems. So I'm not going to cut that off, but I'm going to cut to the bottom of where the leaves are. I'm not going to cook all of the stems, but this will probably be my last cut. So I'll trash this, but based on the videos I saw, you could even eat this and it wouldn't be bad, which makes sense. But I'm not going to eat it because it also says that you have to cook the stems much longer in order for them to be soft. So let's go to the next step. The next step is to wash the greens. You guys see my new sink little aerator. It has 3 different modes. Let's show this off. Let's see. That's 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to keep it here. And we're going to wash these pretty good. And I'll need 2 hands, so I'll be back. What I'm going to do is get rid of some of this broth. And I think I'm going to save it and cook some rice in it. So I'll need 2 hands. I'll be back. For the next step, I'm going to add in the greens. And I think I'm supposed to put the top on, so let's do that. So the collards have been cooking for a little less than an hour. I'm just gonna give a stir. They smell like, like regular collard greens. So I might be doing something right. I'm definitely getting juice all over the stove, but I can go back later and clean that up. So some recipes say that the collards cook for 2 hours. Some say an hour and a half. I'm actually not a big fan of collard greens, but in this time of just trying something new, I was gifted these by my oldest sister, and so I'm gonna cook them and eat them. I think I do want them soft, so I'm gonna let them cook at least an hour and a half. So I'll close this, let it cook for another 40 minutes. And then I'll come back and see where we are. It's been about 2 hours, and the recipe I'm following says, or I read somewhere it says once the meat starts to fall off the bone, then the collards are probably finished. So smells good. I guess they look good. We'll taste tomorrow. It's kind of late, and I just cooked this so I'll have dinner tomorrow. And so I'll have lunch tomorrow, lunch and dinner tomorrow. So tasting tomorrow. When I was down to about 30 minutes of cooking time left, I seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I put olive oil in there, and I added chicken stock because much of the broth had been soaked up by the greens. So I thought I wasn't going to try the collard greens until tomorrow, but I'm still up. Almost ready for bed, but not quite. So I'm gonna try them tonight. Here we go. Good flavor. Tastes like the collard greens that I've had. Like I said earlier in one of the other clips, I'm not a big fan of collard greens, but since I'm cooking, I might as well just try everything. So tonight I cooked the Sunday dinner. I had collard greens, some macaroni, baked pork chops, and rice. So I was gonna cook all of that Sunday, but I ended up not doing that. So I wanted to use the collard greens before they went bad. I'm glad I did. Pretty good. So I'm gonna finish eating. I'll see you guys in the next video.